Folks, this is G47 for ZeroPointFuel. Just want to give you a quick update. I am done wrapping my coils, and boy am I tired. This is the last one of 14 coils. I still got to finish putting everything together on the guts on the inside, but I got these connectors that are drying up here with some glue. I'm going to leave them setting for a few hours, and I'll probably do a quick barbecue and come back later tonight and wrap this stuff up. Anyway, I wanted to talk about another jig. Technomancer was kind enough to give me a little freedom on the forum. I'm going to create a topic called Jigs, Jigs, and Jigs for the box motor. Put all the videos there so you can check them out. So this jig here is a jig that Technomancer already displayed on the forum in one of the videos when you were creating the box motor. The only reason I'm showing this jig, this is really just a duplicate of his, is because I was able to do a little trick with putting the diodes when we're putting the 6 diodes together. Something that is going to save you a little time with the blue power wire. One of the challenges that I had when I was building the coil was getting this wire that goes, I don't know if you can see that, let me center that, getting this wire that goes to the diodes soldered to the diode, I want to call it a diode pack, I guess, and then up through this little hole into these connectors. So I found out later that I can solder the wire once to the diodes, and then when I was done, bring it up through the hole, connect it to the connectors, and be done with it. So I wanted to show you that, and I'm going to show you how I did that. That'll end this video. Like I said earlier in my other videos, I will fast forward through a lot of the boring stuff and we'll get going. So jig is the same as Technomancer's. Got a little polycarbonate plate there, and this is the material from the end caps. Same material as this stuff here. It was a little sliver that was left over. I used it to pin down the diodes that are going to go in here, and that's pretty much it. Let me put this together and connect the wire that I mentioned earlier so that you can see what I'm talking about. And that's going to save you a lot of time, because double soldering the wire later is really just a pain. I'll make sure I'm in focus here. Again, another little Irwin clamp. They come in really handy. Let me get centered in here. I got everything ready and get this going. So I just clamp this down, use a screwdriver to open the plastic that's going to hold the diodes down. Whoops, a little bit too much there. Let's get the diodes ready. They all have to be facing the same way. A lot of this you've already seen in Technomancer's video, but this is specific to this jig. Anyway, let me get going here. After I get them lined up, pretty much pin them down. Scrunch them together the way Technomancer does. You don't want to twist them. He was right. You're better off just scrunching them together. In cometh now the new trick, or a time saver. I don't want to call it a trick. This is the wire that I mentioned earlier that is going to go in the center of the connectors. So I use blue. It's electrical wire, no big deal. So what I do is I'll connect it here on the end and make sure it's going in that direction. In other words, facing the gray portion of the diodes, because this is the part that's going to go underneath the control board. So let me do that. There's a little alligator clip to pin them down so it doesn't move on me too much. This trick works really great. Just wrap it around and kind of keep it all together so it doesn't move on you. Twist it out of the way. Do the same thing on the other side. Doesn't really matter how that wire sits. You're going to wind up bending it up anyway. So, all right, let's hit it. Take the alligator clip off and let me pull this out. By the way, my coil uses, I use the electrical connectors here. Let me focus that in there. I use electrical connectors in here to connect the diode to the wires. I asked the technomancer about that and he says it was okay just to make sure they were tightened. I'm not being lazy. What I'm trying to do is make this part of the control board, let me line that up here, this part of the control board flexible where I could remove it away from the coils, and if I ever have to do maintenance, replace this portion, do a new configuration, I don't have to unsolder and resolder. So far it's working for me and it looks something like that. So there's 3 of them. You have to install the first one in the middle, then work your way outwards so you can screw them down really tight. So to make sure that this thing is going to fit, I usually have a connector on standby. Oops, make sure I got that in there, and I just make sure it fits right in there. In this case, because I was in a little bit of a rush, there you go, it does fit. That's how that's going to sit. So let's pull this out so you can take a look at it. Straighten this up a little bit, and bam, you're done. So let me see if I can focus in there and you can see that. So when it goes up into the connector, you've already got this blue wire ready to go here. That's going to go up into the center of the chips, the center pin. And that's what it looks like. So you got your 6 diodes and your wire. Sorry, I got to figure out how to get it in the center of this camera. And your wire ready to go. So you need, if you're doing 12 coils, you need 3 of these. That's 36 of these. And as you can see, it didn't take very long to make them. It took longer to talk about it than to probably sit there and figure it out. So that's pretty much it. This is G47. Thanks. I'll talk to you later. We're out.